सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परम ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ओम सच्चिदानंदरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रय विनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नमः। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्च अर्थेष्वभिघ्नस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो अमृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं। समस्तदेवताभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराण आचार्येभ्यो नमः। परब्रह्मणे महाविष्णवे ब्रह्मणे सनकादिमुनिभ्यो नारदाय वेदव्यासाय शुकब्रह्मर्षे सूतमहामुने शौनकादिऋषिभ्यो नमः। वैशम्पायनादिऋषिभ्यो नमः। अत्र्यादिऋषिभ्यो नमः। प्रह्लादादिभक्तजनेभ्यो नमः। आदित्यादिनवग्रहदेवताभ्यो नमः। दक्षिणामूर्ति दत्तात्रेय हयग्रीवादिगुरुभ्यो नमः। दुर्गा लक्ष्मी सरस्वती स्वरूपिण्यै नमः। आदिवराशक्तिमात्रे नमः। आद्यशङ्कराचार्यवर्यादिगुरुभ्यो नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम श्री कृष्ण परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणम् एकादश स्कन्धः मुक्तिर्हित्वा अन्यथा रूपं स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थितिः। अथ विंशोऽध्यायः। श्री भगवानुवाच। Chant again from 18th mantra. यदारम्भेषु निर्विण्णः विरक्तः संयतेन्द्रियः अभ्यासेनात्मनो योगी धारयेद् अचलं मनः। धार्यमाणं मनोयर्हि भ्राम्यद् आशु अनवस्थितम् अतन्द्रितोऽनुरोधेन मार्गेणात्मवशं नयेत्। मनोगतिं न विसृजेत जितप्राणो जितेन्द्रियः सत्त्वसम्पन्नया बुद्ध्या मन आत्मवशं नयेत्। एष वै परमो योगः मनसः संग्रहः स्मृतः हृदयज्ञत्वमन्विच्छन् दम्यस्येवार्वतो मुहुः। साङ्ख्येन सर्वभावानां प्रतिलोमानुलोमतः भवाप्ययावनुध्यायेत् मनो यावत् प्रसीदति। निर्विण्णस्य विरक्तस्य पुरुषस्योक्तवेदिनः मनस्त्यजति दौरात्म्यं चिन्तितस्यानुचिन्तया। यमादिभिर्योगपथैः आन्वीक्षिक्या च विद्यया ममार्चोपासनाभिर्वा नान्यैर्योग्यं स्मरेन्मनः। यदि कुर्यात् प्रमादेन योगी कर्म विगर्हितम् योगेनैव दहेदं हः नान्यत् तत्र कदाचन। स्वे स्वेधिकारे या निष्ठा स गुणः परिकीर्तितः कर्मणां जात्यशुद्धानाम् अनेन नियमः कृतः। गुणदोषविधानेन संगानां त्याजनेच्छया जातश्रद्धो मत्कथासु निर्विण्णः सर्वकर्मसु। वेददुःखात्मकान् कामान् परित्यागेऽप्यनेश्वरः ततो भजेत मां प्रेतः श्रद्धाळुर्दृढनिश्चयः। जुषमाणश्च तान् कामान् दुःखोदरकांश्च गर्हयन् प्रोक्तेन भक्तियोगेन भजतो मास कृन्मुनेः। कामा हृदया नश्यन्ति सर्वे मयि हृदि स्थिते भिद्यते हृदयग्रन्थिः छिद्यन्ते सर्वसंशयाः। क्षीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि मयि दृष्टेऽखिलात्मनि तस्मात् मद्भक्तियुक्तस्य योगिनो वै मदात्मनः न ज्ञानं न च वैराग्यं प्रायः श्रेयो भवेदिह यत् कर्मभिर्यत् तपसा ज्ञानवैराग्यतश्च यतो योगेन दानधर्मेण श्रेयोभिरितरैरपि सर्वं मद्भक्तियोगेन मद्भक्तो लभतेऽञ्जसा स्वर्गापवर्गं मद्धाम कथञ्चित् यदि वाञ्छति न किञ्चित् साधवो धीराः भक्ता हि एकान्तिनो मम वाञ्छन्त्यपि मया दत्तं कैवल्यम् अपुनर्भवं नैरपेक्ष्यं परं प्राहुः निःश्रेयसमनल्पकं तस्मात् निराशिषो भक्तिः निरपेक्षस्य मे भवेत् न मय्येकान्तभक्तानां गुणदोषोद्भवा गुणाः साधूनां समचित्तानां बुद्धेः परमुपेयुषाम एवमेतान्मयादिष्टान् अनुतिष्ठन्ति मे पथः क्षेमं विन्दन्ति मत्स्थानं यत् ब्रह्म परमं मम परमं विदुः इति श्रीमद्भागवते महापुराणे पारमहंस्यां संहितायाम् एकादशस्कन्धे विंशोऽध्यायः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम श्री कृष्ण शरणं मम, श्री भागवत शरणं मम, श्री सद्गुरु शरणं मम, श्री सूत शरणं मम, श्री शुकदेव शरणं मम, श्री व्यास शरणं मम, श्री नारद शरणं मम, श्री कुमार शरणं मम, श्री ब्रह्मा शरणं मम, श्री विष्णु शरणं मम, श्री परब्रह्म शरणं मम, श्री कृष्ण शरणं मम, शरणं मम, शरणं मम। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। ओम मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं। स्वर्गे सत्ये च कैलासे वैकुण्ठे नास्त्ययं रसः अतः सद्भाग्याः मामुञ्चितकरहिचित्। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ श्रीकृष्ण परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणम् एकादश स्कन्धा मुक्तिरहित्वा अन्यथा रूपम् स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थितिः। अथ विंशोऽध्यायः। श्रीभगवानुवाच। Salutations to entire Bhagavata Acharya Parampara and Brahma Vidya Acharya Parampara and our own Guru Parampara and all the saints and sages, to also the Bhagavan in his pristine form as Parabrahma, as Narayana Mahavishnu, also in all avatars, especially to Bhagavan Sri Krishna. And salutations to all and all, you all wonderful sadhakas. Welcome you. In always sadhana, it is not possible to me. That thought we have to drop. The thought that some sadhana I cannot do, which is required, is a sheer humiliation of the Lord and Guru and all the Guru and Shastra Parampara. How much we are able to do, it is secondary, but whatever is possible, we do, and let us believe more than our own capacity in the Krupa of Bhagavan and Guru. Let us never insult Bhagavan and Guru by saying that this or that sadhana is not possible. Everything is possible. If it was possible for some people, someone, it is possible for us also. And when is it possible? It is here and now, right now. Let that positivity grow in us. Now, this 20th chapter of 11th Skandha Bhagavat Mahapurana, from these divine words of Bhagavan Krishna, is teaching us all important sadhanas and how to do the techniques also. Every sloka we are trying maximum to analyze and understand it to our own capacity. Once we are able to catch all these main understandings, then let us find our time convenience to start practicing them. And as we keep on doing, it becomes familiar, it becomes habit, it becomes natural, it becomes easy. The doing. Then the doing definitely leads to gaining or being. So we have seen in 20th chapter in the 18th mantra, the teachings started. Before that, what was said, it is human being life alone, which is fit instrument of each occasion, fit opportunity to reach to the ultimate truth, ultimate realization, ultimate moksha through bhakti and jnana sadhana. So those sadhanas Bhagavan is explaining from here. Once we accept we are human beings, once we accept that in the human life only this is possible, and once we are convinced and committed that I'll do sadhana, to such sadhaka Bhagavan is explaining. What is the main Adhyatmika sadhana? Dharayet achalam manaha. Let the mind be made steadfast. A mana which is purely achala. Okay, the achalata of the mana is happening on the willpower also, on the strength of nidra also, and also forcefully mana can be made achala through the samadhi abhyas. But this is not the achalata expected finally. The final achalata is when all the vasanas are eliminated, then vasana rahitya makes the mind so chalana varjita that the mind is no more a mind, it is a conscious self. So, to reach to that no mind stage of conscious self, first we have to make the mind steadfast by never minding the things which create mind, which disturb mind, which make the world get projected in the mind. All those things are being said here. Dharaye Dachalam Mana is the goal. How to do that is one by one sadhana. First, Arambheshu Nirvinnaha. We have seen exhaustively yesterday. No new undertakings. Then Viraktaha, already done things, whatever follow going to come, good or bad, we have no rakti in that, no interest in that, no giving value to that, no involving in them, no indulgence in them. Just remain as Sakshi with the idea behind that I have to transcend the mind to see my own experience my own self. Then what adds to the manas, the achalata, another sadhana is jitendri, samyatendriya. Samyak yata indriya. Not one, not two, all the 10 indriyas fully kept in our own control. And it is not impossible. Keep on doing, it will happen. Then yesterday what we missed was this thought. Whether Nirveda regarding the new undertakings, whether it is Virakti for all the phala, whether it is controlling the Indriyas, how all of them are achieved, which lead to the Arayada Chalamana, how they are all achieved are Abhyasena. Atmanaha Abhyasena, a yogi. So decide yourself to be the yogi. I want to do the yoga sadhana where mind is quietened, mind is transcended, the self is experienced. So I am a dhyana yogi, then adhyatmika sadhaka yogi with the decision abhyasena. By abhyasa, abhyasa means repetition of the same thing again and again, again and again. The result of that is we are stabilized or established in that thing. Tatra sthitau yatna abhyasa. And that abhyasa we should do with all love, with all interest, with all respect, with all sincerity, with all regularity. So yogi atmana abhyasena manaha achalam dharayetu. This is a sadhana. And this is the thing to be achieved. And what helps to us? Yada arambeshu nirvinnaha viraktaha samyatendriya. We saw yesterday. Now second one, dharyamanam manaha. While when we are doing this one, because of the mind's sensitiveness or its fickleness and because of its habits, mana yari brahmyat ashu anavastitam. Again and again, when the mind is going into Brahmanam, and because of Anavastha, inability to stabilize the mind, when the mind is not becoming stable and going into variety of things and beings and times and places and experience, etc., what sadhana to be done? Atandritaha, without different dejection, without frustration, and also without carelessness, means with carefulness. What is to be done? Anurodhena margena atmavasham nayat. Yesterday we saw that with the marg of the anunayanam and anurodhana. A loving, nice training, teaching, and kindness, or what do you say, sweet words given to the mana, slowly we have to bring into our own anurodha. Through anurodha samjha bujhakar vasam nayet. So that we said yesterday, don't struggle with it, don't fight with it. Slowly, steadily only it is done. Then, while doing this anunayanam or anurodhanam, when the mind is running 10 directions, with the goal is what? Abhyasena atmano yogi dhare dasalam manaha. While doing so, the four things are said. Manogatim na visrujet. Never become unaware of the movements of the mind. And what is the first technique to control the children at home or in the school or even the traffic on the road by the traffic police? First thing is you are be aware of them. The moment when we are not aware it, what number of mischiefs they do, we never know. We can not correct them. We cannot rectify them. That is why first is manogatim na visrujetu. Don't do the Visarjana or giving up of becoming aware of the mind and its movements, its directions. Yesterday we saw exhaustively. Think about the mind, in which gunas it is entering. Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic. Which objects it is entering. Those which are going to bind us or what. So to which people it is entering. And which type of fancies it is doing. Which type of imaginations, projections it is doing. So the two things are here. Papa Punyatmakata of the mana we have to understand. Second thing, as we started today's our class with that 2 minutes of introduction, that is that Managati is full of dynamism and inspiration, or full of all lowness, inferiorities, weaknesses, fears and negativities. ये वाला गति भी मन का देखना है. Manogatim na visrujet. And while being aware of that, and by this time of listening to Bhagavatam, we are matured also already as to what the stage of mind should be for a sadhaka. So then pour into the mind that type of quality and eliminate the negative one. So first is manogatim navisrujet. Feel the meaning of each of the sadhana, because इतना स्पष्ट रूप से और कहीं हमको नहीं बताएंगे. बताए तो भी समझ में नहीं आएगा. आना है तो भी पहले ये समझो तभी वो आएगा. मनोगतिम न विसृजेत. Now each thought, word, action which is expressing through us should bear the seal of our own recognition. है ना. कोई भी डाक बाहर जाता है ऑफिस से, वो तभी वैलिड होगा जब उसको ठप्पा लगता है. Something like that. Then tappai कहते हैं ना. I don't know. Sometime I may not use wrong Hindi or language. So without the stamp, it won't go out. So without the seal and stamp of our own recognition and certification or signing, not even one thought, not even one word or action should express from us. This highest level of awareness is the beginning of a spiritual sadhana. But now what happens, in the mind, which thoughts of lust, passion, greed come? Not only we are not aware about them, but we are getting carried away by them, unaware way, unknowing that these thoughts are coming, they are detrimental, they have to be controlled, it's not dignity of me, I'm a sadhaka. ये सारा याद ही नहीं रहता, वो लेके जाते हैं हमको लूट के, हमें उखाड़ के ले जाते हैं, किडनैप करके ले जाते हैं, all those thoughts. At that level we are now. From that level, manogatim na visrujet is absolute. The moment we wake up from the sleep, first to become conscious of the mana. And never ever allow the mind to have even one thought of fancy. Exactly what is to be done as prescribed by the guru and as prescribed by your own doctor for your health, that alone we have to do, and as prescribed by the shastra regarding the dharma. Mind should never have even a courage also to submit in front of us its own proposal even once. That's the greatest achievement we have to achieve. That's called conquering the mind. Such mind alone can be made achalam, and that mind can be transcended. Then only we'll experience the self which is acting like the mind and troubling us. The real self, the blissful self we can experience. Remember? So maniyogatim na visrujetu throughout the day. Then Visashrane Jita Prana, the importance of control of the prana. So through pranayama, and I tell you, the mana control can be anytime achieved whenever the mind is disturbed by that moment's pranayama. Even now also, if the mind is in tamoguna or rajoguna, we can bring it into the sattva by 1 minute of pranayama. This pranayama is a preventive, curative, as well as SOS tablet for any of the urgencies and diseases. There is some SOS prescription. That is exactly the definition of it. I don't remember now abbreviation. कि कोई पेट में बहुत दर्द है तो दवा ले लेना बोलते हैं. For painkillers are given as SOS. And any of the medication we are under it, if it goes wrong and any serious action, ये ले लो कहते हैं. Now, for the quietening of the mind, pranayama is SOS. You try it. Become very gussa. That I need not say anyway, you become. Then use your pranayama. 1 minute only. In that 1 minute, 30 times or 26 times, you do inhaling, exhaling, observingly. You see, gone. वो गुस्सा भी जाएगा, वो कामना भी जाएगा, वो द्वेष भी जाएगा. Any disturbing attitude aspects of the mana, they go away. For that, we have to have the desire, first of all, that I must have the mind freed from all disturbing agitations. I must gain the calm and quiet mind. Always I must be in that mood. Come what may. This maturity first we have to have. That will come only when we know the strength that is conserved when the mind is calm and quiet. When we know the dignity which we feel inside, when we know how much utilization that mind can help us both in worldly achievements and decisions, so to spirituality. ये मन कामनेस का, मन शांति का हमें वैल्यू पता है, तभी मन को शांत रखने की इच्छा होगी, तभी जाकर ये प्राणायाम आदियों के द्वारा एसओएस के रूप में वी कैन क्वाइटन द माइंड. But these are all mechanical, temporary application of the brakes. But the real quietening of the mind is definitely removing of impurity called as vasanas. And also by focusing the mind only on Paramatma more and more, more and more, more and more, till it merges in Paramatma. This is the final manogati, that is the control of the mind. Yeah, manogatim na visrjeta jita prana. Jita prana. Now, Jita Prana, I want to tell two more words today. Explanation. One is what? Pranamaya koshas, dharmas are hunger and thirst. Clear? Now, Jita Prana means when we have conquered hunger and thirst. What does it mean we are conquering? When we eat food only to fill stomach and live, also we drink water only for our survival. Remember, more than that, when we don't value hunger and thirst, then the mind will not be disturbed. ये सेकंड है प्राणायाम हेल्पिंग इन क्वाइटनिंग द माइंड. दिस प्राणायाम, there are very many wise people, like they decide the quantity of food, quality of food, timings of the food. So that is called a pranayama. That is why their minds, be attentive, don't run into any objects for enjoyment. Secondly, because of eating a variety of things, anything we eat, the subtlest aspect of it becomes the mind. They are not consuming all those things. That way also the mind's disturbance is protected from. देखो ये सूक्ष्म मन स्थूल वस्तु में संबंध है. Like the pungent chili and the restlessness of mind have a relation. That means what? When the chili is eaten, the mind is restless. The restless Rajoguni Vyakti wants to eat the pungent things. That's how Katwamla Lavana Tishna Tikshna Ruksha Vidahina Aharaha Rajasasya Ishtaha Dukkha Shoka Amaya Pradaha in Bhagavad Gita. Do you understand that? So too, the food is of tamasic type of all non-veg and fat and all. Then the mana becomes tamasic. And mind you, a tamoguni vyakti feels to eat all that tamasic food only. So they mutually help coordinate with each other. Yatayamam gatarasam puti parishitam chet uchishtam abhijamedyam bhojanam tamasapyam. So we told Rajas tamas. So to Sattvic. A sattvic mana enjoys eating sattvic food, and a sattvic food eating person's mana will be sattvic. We need vegetables, sprouts, less of any of these spices, and not that food which is heavy, which is all these, as it says just now, the fatty non-veg and all. ये नहीं है, सात्विक आहार है, तो आपका मन भी सात्विक होगा. So in this way, prana means pranamaya kosha. Pranamaya kosha means hunger and thirst. Hunger and thirst means food and drinks. When they are also made sattvic, mana also becomes sattvic. Sattvic mana is shanta mana. Shanta mana is nigruhita mana. Nigruhita mana is no mana. No mana is atmanubhava. Third meaning of prana means what? See, the prana shakti works through all the indriyas. Is it not? So indriyas are very active and dynamic at that level, or even they are doing wrong action. It influences mind also. So prana shakti द्वारा इंद्रियां काम करते हैं. Therefore, which is very difficult, but still I am sharing. If in our day's activity and schedule, if we can maintain the balance of not vigorously, unnecessarily acting also, nor becoming lazy also, in that madhyama marga, the prana shakti is correctly used by respecting it. It has its influence on the mind. Activities. Because again, just like the food and mind has connection, the activities and mind also has connection. Activities, I am saying. In that activity, one of the activities, perception of the sense objects, response to the sense object through the karma indriya, which will be the which is the next topic called as jitendriyata. Before that, we are talking about the prana. So in this way, we have to very carefully understand all the aspects. Whatever याद रहेगा, उसको हमें practice करना है. So, manogatim navisrujet. Second is, through the Chita Prana also we can do the Chita Manaha. These are all very acute operations, very sublime, subtle operations, which we consciously, deliberately do at all levels of our personality, which lead to the quietening the mind, purifying of the mind, single pointedness of the mind, sharpness of the mind, subtlety of the mind. That mind will apprehend, be attentive. The self, first of all, understanding level may, then that mind is ready for its own sacrifice for the revealing of that Atmavastu. ये थोड़ा गंभीर बात है. अब ये सब छिपे हैं इन श्लोकों में, थोड़ा तो बताना चाहिए ना, नहीं तो जस्टिफिकेशन नहीं होगा. इतना सबलाइम सब्जेक्ट का. देन व्हेन आई डाई एंड गो टू लॉर्ड कृष्ण, ही आस्क मी, तो क्या है, तुम तो भागवत पढ़ाने के लिए मौका दिया, इस चैप्टर को तो तुमने इतने लाइट लाइट बोला है, यूजलेस हो तुम. ही विल स्कोल्ड मी. सो आई डोंट वांट दैट स्कोल्डिंग, आई वांट शाबाशी फ्रॉम हिम. Then now with this he'll tell me how much ever the audience are frustrated, but you have done very well. Good, he'll tell me. So manogatim navisrujet is aware of where the mind is going. And then you bring it to control. And into control the mind, jita prana is very essential. Third one is again jita indriyaha. Yesterday we saw it exhaustively. Every indriya should be held on to and it is to be trained. वो जो बात हमने अभी तक किया नहीं. See, once in a while we do the fasting, for some reason or pretext, because some sattva came in us, one day, today we don't see TV or we go to temple. Yeah, to any ordinary fellow also does it when the punya or guru krupa or any krupa is there. That is not at all sadhana. Sadhana is consciously, deliberately, we ourselves take charge of sadhana and do it, especially when everything is in sixes and sevens. उस समय करने चीज को साधना कहते हैं. अपने आप जो होता है उसको साधना नहीं कहते। कृपा से जो होता है वो साधना नहीं। जबकि साधना कृपा से ही होता है, लेकिन कृपा से जो होता है वो साधना नहीं है। हमें करना है, देन वी से इट इज कृपा। Jitendriya, not once in a while doing upasana and all. And that strict control on all our indriyas. That's what in Bhagavad Gita, Kathopanishad, all it is said. Finally, the ratha of our life is pulled by the horses of indriyas only. How importantly it is to control fully them. That's why Damyasyevarvatomuhu, the example of the horses is given in the next sloka. So every word is clearly understood now. Jitendriya. All the word. Then he says, Sattva Sampannaya Buddhya. And what adds or helps in doing all this is, Buddhi is full of Sattva. Sattva is Tattva Jnana, Sattva is Sattva Guna, Sattva is strength. What is the strength of the intellect? These two only. The Sattva Guna is the strength of intellect, Tattva Jnana is the strength of intellect. With these two strengths, the intellect, which is sattvika, it should pull the mind from the rajotama to the sattva level. Controlled, that is the meaning. So, sattva sampanaya buddhya manaha atma vasham nayet. Mind has to be brought into our own control. Vasham nayet means controlling. What is control? Absolutely quieted. Quieted means what? No thought at all coming in the mind. Like we said yesterday about those great Brahmagnani, they are always in that experience. Any of the duty responsible to be done, they bring the mind like a servant, they do the work and again send that mind to oblivion. That much control they have. Absolutely. Which is the achievement? They might have gone through many lives of sadhana. Now, in our contemporary world, they are there, but their sadhana started long back. Our started now, and it will keep on happening. When we do one life, we will also achieve it. That is, one life will achieve if you start from this life. If you say, इस लाइफ में नहीं होगा, अगले लाइफ में भी नहीं होगा. इतने प्यार से बोला, स्वामी जी बोलने के टाइम भी आप नहीं करोगे, अगले जन्म में धमकी देकर पिटाई करके जो स्वामी जी पढ़ाने वाले आते हैं, तब तो पहले दिन ही भाग जाओगे. You understand? When we make use of the best conveniences, the conveniences will be bettered. When the best conveniences are not utilized, the less convenient things will be given for us to train us. You understand? The simple conveniences are the result of hard work, not escapism. जो रोज होमवर्क करता है स्कूल में बच्चा, तो उसको तो एक दिन होमवर्क माफ भी करते हैं टीचर, और जो करता नहीं उसको डबल इम्पोजिशन कहते हैं करने को. इज इट नॉट? यू राइट 2 टाइम 3 टाइम्स. इधर से मैं स्पिरिचुअल साधना में भी इससे कन्वीनियंट आपको ये कन्वीनियंस को यूज करने से होगा, और इस कन्वीनियंस को नहीं यूज करोगे तो इससे कठिन वाला होगा अगले साधना. Everything. Sadhana will be difficult. The taskmaster teacher also will come. The wife, children, in-laws, outlaws all will be more dangerous to trouble you. उस समय तो आप पूरा फंसी जाओगे. याद रखना इस बात को. This is the only correct thing. This is the only way by which whatever the time we have in this life, we use that in the sadhana. इससे बढ़कर मौका नहीं होगा. इसको यूज करेगा तो इसके बढ़िया होगा. Every moment we have to use it, not once in a while. Anyway, so sattva sampannaya buddhya manaha atmavasham nayet. हो गया. Now after saying it, Bhagavan is telling a beautiful word. Esha vai paramah yogaha manasaha sangraha smutaha. This is the parama utkrushta ultimate yoga. What is it? Manasaha sangraha. Bringing the mind into full your control. Samyak grahanam. Sangraha means. Sangraha means not sangrahalaya. All the antique pieces are put it in that museum. No, Sangraha means Samyak Grahana. Fully bringing the mind into your own control is Parama Yoga. ये भगवान कृष्ण की बात है. अब डोंट, भगवद गीता उपनिषद जिस स्थाई के हैं उतना ही लेवल का है ये भी पोर्शन, क्योंकि ये तो और उससे ज्यादा ही होगा गीता से क्योंकि भगवान गीता तो युद्ध क्षेत्र में बताया, ये तो टुवर्ड द एंड ऑफ हिज अवतार इज टीचिंग। उसमें एक तरह की अर्जेंसी के कारण महिमा है, इसमें भी एक तरह की महिमा है क्योंकि ये टुवर्ड द एंड ऑफ इट्स हिज अवतार। Therefore, the importance of these sadhanas we must know. If Bhagavan says this is the Parama Yoga, you have to strictly understand and fully believe it. Manaha Sangraha Parama Yoga Smruta. Now, see, whenever such truths have to be spoken, Bhagavan adds to his saying that it is not only me who is saying. Smrutaha means in all the Smriti Granthas or in all the memories and experience of all the saints and sages, this is what is endorsed. That Parama Yoga is Manas Sangraha. So, मैं नहीं कह रहा हूँ, मेरे से पहले वाले जितने भी गुरु ऋषि मुनि अवतार हुए, जितने भी शास्त्र हुए, in all that is what is said. That all is said in one word, smrutaha. Esha vai paramo yoga manasangaha smrutaha. Then, how it is to an example? Hrudayajnatvam anvichana damya seva arvataha muhu. See, when the horse has to be controlled. What is the control of the horse? That it should listen to your heart's understanding and it should understand what your heart wants, and exactly the horse must do that. And what is in your heart, you tell to the horse by your looks also, by your touch and patting also, by kicking also when you sit on that, and sometimes using that reins, etc. So with all these using reins, kick or touch and all, the horse understand the owner कि वो क्या चाहते हैं. इन हॉर्स राइडिंग में वो ट्रेनिंग पूरा हॉर्स को पहले देखे, हॉर्स राइडर को भी देते, the new horse rider. Then following those rules, he is able to ride the horse. But to train that horse like that, it is such a long, hard work. तो पैटिंग करने का क्या अर्थ है ये आप उसको बता. Like horses, you may not know, but if you had gone to the Chardham Yatra to Kedar and is Yamunotri, you know that each of those horse riding, those जो भी उनको कहते हैं, वो जो वो खच्चर वगैरह को चलाते हैं, they use special words and horse understand that. If you also understand, you will also he says some words, then that understands he speed बढ़ाओ, या और एक word कहते हैं slow करो. Then some word he uses by which the horse becomes left side little bit moving or right side moving or overtaking or allowing the person from behind. He has really done the damanam of the damya. Damya means to be controlled. Arvata means horse. To be controlled horse or kachar. हैंड कभी कोई दूर रहती है वो घोड़ा घोड़ा खच्चर यहीं से वो ऑर्डर करता है, ही फॉलोज इट. सच ए वंडरफुल थिंग रिलेशन. दिस इज एग्जांपल ऑफ हॉर्स. नाउ व्हाट इज द मीनिंग इन आवर लाइफ? दम्य सेव अर्वतः मुहुः मीन्स व्हाट कि व्हाट इज द फर्स्ट वर्ड यूज्ड हियर? हृदयज्ञत्वम अन्विच्छन्. So our mind also should fully understand and follow what is there in our hridaya. Okay? And what should be there in our hridaya, which the mind should understand? Is it not? In our hridaya, these are the 3-4 things should be there. First, the mind is only an instrument. Second, in the vyavahara, the mind should prompt the indriyas to do only dharma. Little added to that, because we are human being, the mind should also be ready to some punya. And because you are human being, again, mind should also be ready to do the seva of the world as well as of the Guru Jana Dharma Ityadi. Then the next one is what? The mind should know that we need the mind to have the bhakti towards God. Next, the mind should know our hridayam, that in our hridaya, we want the mind to be employed. Mind includes antakarana pura. Here, it should be employed in understanding the Shastra. Last but one, not the least, is what? Last but one is what? Our hridaya gnyatam should be this. The knowledge in our heart is this mind, though has helped us in these 5 sadhanas so far, but in the further experience of the ultimate truth, this mind itself is an obstruction. That mind should know it. Finally, the hridaya what should be there in our heart is we have to offer the mind as the bali for the experience of the self, and for that the mind should be ready. This is our hridayajnam. This hridayagnata This is what is in our hridaya. This must be known to our mind, and that mind should abide all that. That's called as control of the mind. Just like I said, what is the hridaya gnatvam of the horse rider? Going left, going right, increasing speed, reducing speed, stopping or going back. These are all in his heart. And he makes the horse do all that by different signs or symbols of touching, patting, beating. Now, all that the horse has got training. So, too, our mind should be trained in all these aspects. Beginning with doing the dharma. Even before that, not doing the adharma. Hridayajnatva means me as a human being should have in my hridaya, first of all, what I have to achieve, what I have to change in, what I have to become. That happens through Shastra study and all. Even after that, also we can't do sadhana because the mind being unruly. Now, that mind is like a horse. That also should be trained. Training of the mind is it should know what is in my hridaya, and exactly that alone it should do. And what should be in our hridaya are these 5, 6 things. See that example. Hridaya gnatvam anu ichan damyasyaiva arvataha. Now the most important word here is muhuhu. Like in 4 slokas back, we talked about abhyasa. Here also the word is muhuhu. Muhu means again and again, again and again, again and again, again and again. Even though there's a special work to be achieved, still the horse rider or a kachar rider takes the horse or the kachar to continue the training given to it. नहीं तो भूल जाएगी. अब सीजन होता है 6-5 महीने का, 4 महीने का. During Akshaya Tritiya it's open and Deepavali it's closed. So May to October, 6 months. But what about the remaining 6 months? You can't leave that khachar or horse untrained. So therefore they keep on riding it, taking here and there, and sustain the training given to that horse. Same way, mohu means again and again, again and again. एक बार से नहीं होता, एक दिन से नहीं होता. कभी कभी जन्म जन्म भी लगते होंगे करने वाले को. Moho, understand? Never give up. Keep on doing. Don't take the mind for granted. Today, mind little bit loving towards you. So, without doing anything also, it may cooperate today. So, don't imagine this continues tomorrow also. Tomorrow, it may be most unruly. So, that time, you have to do sadhana. So, कभी भी लाइट नहीं लेना मन को. मोह हर दिन हर दिन हर दिन. Like an army person can never take it for granted that his shooting abilities are intact. Never take it for granted that all his physical abilities, stabilities are stable. No, you cannot take it. You will have to do every day the running, the jogging, the rifle cleaning, getting it ready, using it for some rounds. ये तो हर दिन करना पड़ता है. मुहुहु शब्द I am using, I am explaining. So that's how every shloka, especially this chapter, that way has to be studied thoroughly, word by word, sentence by sentence. एंड दैट हैज टू बी प्रैक्टिस. जितना भी समझो, प्रैक्टिस करते करते उसके आदत बनाने से उसका फल होगा. नहीं तो भूल ही जाएंगे हम. लाइक दैट so many 19-20,000 shlokas we studied, all of that how efficiently we have forgotten. In this regard we are greater than Arjuna, Parikshit, Uddhava and Bhagavan Krishna and Vedavyasa and Shukadeva. इन सबसे भी हम ग्रेट है इस विषय में कि वो लोग वो सब श्लोक भूले नहीं, हम इतने श्लोक भूल गए. दिस कैन बी रिकॉर्ड. We can enter our names in Guinness Book of Records. What is that? Last 2 years, we have studied around 20,000 shlokas of Bhagavata, but none of them we remember. Please enter my name. हो सकता है हमारा. मजेदार. That's because our lack of interest and that you justify. अब justify करने का मौका दूं तो आप इतना justify करोगे स्वामी जी आप भी सत्संग करना छोड़ दो. इस तरह के टेढ़े दिमाग को मौका नहीं देना. Get scolding from the guru, but don't justify yourself. Don't make the guru accept what you say. That is wrong. That will never help you. That only helps the arrogance to grow, and the nature of taking the excuses grows, and we go away from sadhana. ऐसा बहुत सूक्ष्म रूप से मन अहंकार काम करते हैं. मन और अहंकार का काम जिससे हो हमें जीव के रूप में बांध के रखता है, उसको समझना कुछ 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 जन्मों का प्रयत्न है contemplation में. On the seat of contemplation, for lies together when you observe, then you understand the variety of techniques by which the mana and buddhi sustain our mana, buddhi and ahankara sustain our jiva bhava and samsara. याद रखना इस बात को. So muhuhu shabda is explained. हो गया. Now the sadhanas again. सांख्येन सर्वभावानां प्रतिलोमानुलोमतः भवाप्ययौ अनुध्यायेत मनो यावत् प्रसीदति. Okay, another hint is giving, another technique is giving, another effort he is giving, another practice he is giving. And purpose of all these techniques and practices are to bring the mind to control, to bring the mind into calmness and quietness and peace, to bring the mind into single pointedness, so that the mind is transcended. अचल बना के मन को उस अचल मन के पीछे जो परमात्मा है उनको जानना. Here, what helps the all above said sadhanas is added here, which is already spoken, but सब मिलाकर एक जगह पे भगवान लाके रख रहे. This 20th chapter is that way beautiful. Whatever is knowledge sadhana given in a scattered form in so many places, all of that Bhagavan is bringing at one place. So what is said here is this one, ki Sankhyena. Okay, by the Sankhya Shastra, Samyak Kyapanam. Sankhya Shastra means that Shastra which talks about Prakriti Purusha Viveka. More than that, how in the Prakriti, that is Bhagavan's Maya Shakti, the entire creation has come into manifestation as well as going back. That's what Sankhya. With that knowledge of Sankhya of the Shastra, okay, by your own study or by listening from the Guru, do this work. What is to be done? Sarva bhavanam pratiloma anulomataha bhava apyayu anudhyayetu. Sarva bhavanam means all the names and forms that are in the world, which have entered our mind, which have created ragadvesha, because of which we have become samsari, in which mind is so disturbed that we are not seeing the self. परमात्मा अनुभव को छुपाने वाले, मन को जीवित करने वाले, मन में रहने राग द्वेषों को उत्पन्न करने वाले, मन में रहने वाले सारे रूप नाम जगत कहते हैं उसको, उसका आवाजाही का ध्यान करते रहना. व्हाट इज आवाजाही? भवाप्यय ही भूतान, भवाप्यय ही भूत सर्वभावानां प्रतिलोम अनुलोमतः ध्यायेत. Pratiloma means how they manifested. Anuloma means how they are merging back. Again and again when we do it, then what is understood is what? Their unreality is understood, their binding effect is understood. Then when we transcend them, then only the Sukha Shanti comes. That important thing is understood. At that level, the mind will listen to us. Just like again and again when the youth and children are explained as to when they live the life of licentious, how they individually destroy life and for the world they become calamity. When that is again and again taught, slowly their intellect start accepting it, then they get molded, which we are not doing nowadays. ये तो ऋषि मुनि गुरुओं की कृपा के कारण कुछ जीवों को ये भूमंडल में ला रहे, जो थोड़े सात्विक गुण वाले हैं, उनके कारण ये दुनिया चल रही है. It's a recommendation of the gurus that some jivas to guide others are brought into this world. To guide who? The all other useless people who are so much of rakshasic nature. And these good people suffer so much to give guidance to them by practice or by show or by teaching. Otherwise, the dunya tikegi nahi hai with the rakshasic thoughts which most of us have. I'm just telling. Example I gave you of the youth. Again and again, when we tell the problems that occur because of these things, that is what is called counseling. So to counsel the mind and see to it that it withdraws its attachments towards everything, so that it is easy to drop them away from the mind. When they are dropped, mind is quite. So sarvabhavanam bhavapeyau anuloma pratilomatah mana dhyayetu. Okay. Sankhena sarvabhavanam pratiloman lomatah bhavapyo anudhyayat. So what is pratiloma? See, what is there is only Parabrahma Paramatma. Start from him. Then he became aware of his power. He wanted to become like many. Then he just recognized, certified is Maya Shakti, which is a Prakriti which has three gunas, which is unfathomable, unseeable. That Maya Shakti belonging to Lord, activated as the Lord, at this next level becomes Mahat Tattva. That Mahat Tattva becomes Ahamkara. That is called as Samashti Ahankara. That Samashti Ahankara gets divided into three because of three gunas: Satvik, Rasik, Tamasic. From the Satvik Ahankara, all the Devatas are manifested. The supervising deities, Adhisthana Devata. From the Rasik Ahankara, all the Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas, Antakarna, they are all manifest. From the Tamasic Ahankara, Pancha Tanmatras come. The Pancha Tanmatras, in their nascent form, give the Pancha Vishayas. The Pancha Tanmatras, through mutual combination, they lead to Pancha Sthula Mahabhutas, which in turn, through admixture, they manifest as so many names and forms. So, what are all the Sthula Nama Rupa we are seeing? They are the combination of Sthuli Bhuta Pancha Mahabhuta. Okay? Sorry, Panchikruta Pancha Mahabhuta. Then this Pancha Mahabhuta at the Tanmatra level, they are appearing as the objects. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasagandha, subtle things. Then they came from the Tamasic Ahankara. Then all Indriyas, etc. Rajasic. All Adhisthana Devas are Sattvic Ahankara. This is the whole world. When the creation gets manifested. Now, at the time of Pradaya, what will happen? This is what happens. The pratiloma, what is the other word used here? Anulomata. They go back into the Maya in the same sequence the way it comes. So all the Rupanamas merge in the Panchikurta Panchamahabhuta. Then the Panchikurta Panchamahabhuta gets separated from mutual combination, become one with Tanmatras. They go and merge in Tamasic Ahankara. So to the entire Jnanendriya, Karmendriya, etc. go back to Rajasik Ahankara. So to all Adhisthana Devatas go back to Satvik Ahankara. These three Ahankaras merge in main Ahankara. That merges in Mahatattva. Mahatattva goes into Maya. Bhagavan dissolves or drops Maya by being in his own self. So this Anuloma, Pratiloma, Dhyanam when we do again and again, and what more thing we have to add is at the level of the manifestation of Deham Indriyas, manifestation of all the Deha, and into that when I come as Jiva and get identified Dehadi, it leads to karma and karma phala with which so many lokas we are sent to compellingly, and that leads to so much of dukkha. And this aspect also is added. दो चीजें हैं, एक तो भगवान के माया शक्ति से ये सब हो रहा है, उसके अलावा उसमें कोई इंपॉर्टेंस वैल्यू नहीं है. Second aspect is what? Because of this type of anuloma, the bond, pratiloma, the bondage is coming. If you want to get rid of the bondage and get liberated, you have to do the anuloma. Both ways. प्रतिलोम से बंधन हुआ, अनुलोम से मुक्ति होगा. This is what is to be substantially kept in our heart. Second is, it is not as much real as we think. Real is only Paramatma. Rest is all is only Maya. In this way, when we listen carefully, very important, when we again and again do the dhyanam, then the importance that is there in the mind for the world, because of which it is clinging onto it and not ready to leave, that goes away. Just like the youth have importance to the drinks or drugs or playing or clubs and all. Their mind is clinging to them. Some of the vasanas they brought from earlier life. Many of them they saw the world around and got into. Some their own parents' nonsense, they only misguided them. Now, what is done by a wise person? If they go to that wise person, he will explain about all these things, how it is detrimental. When a sincere, genuine youngster listens it, what happens to him? All the importance that he gave to that, slowly he reduces. Then he says, I understood Swamiji or I understood Mother Father. Now I slowly reduce this and drop. He drops it. Same way, the mana, because of so many lives of practice, has importance for the entire world's things and beings, and the indulgence in that. उसको इतना उसमें importance मजा लग रहा है, वो छोड़ ही नहीं पा रहा उसको. Just like in our one day schedule, if you see, of 24 hours, not even an hour, half an hour we sit for puja, japa, dhyana. 23 hours चलो उसमें 4 घंटे क्लास का निकाल दो, 18 hours में निकालो 8 घंटे नींद के, 10 hours we are involved in so many unwanted things only because it is felt as important. A Jnani yogi is he who by intellection discovers the non-importance of those things, and slowly conserves his time and energy from it, and engages himself in sadhana. And a highly matured साधक तो even नहाना 3 बार खाना ये सब भी टाइम बकवास है करके he will reduce all that also and engage himself only in sadhana. I'm just telling an example. He doesn't need at that time. But otherwise, in our today's one day schedule, how many times we look at the phone? Why? There's an importance in the mind about that. How many times we do so many things throughout the day. हम जो चीजें करते हैं वो अनइम्पॉर्टेंट चीजों को इम्पोर्टेंट देने के कारण. ये रहस्य जो थोड़ा गंभीर है, पसंदीदा नहीं है, फिर भी जिसने पकड़ा, दे बिकम रियली मेच्योर. One by one movement is oozing away of a human life because of this. Time is wasted, energy is wasted, mind is getting distracted or lazy. Whole opportunity is going away. One word is, even a word also, a thought also, a deed also cannot be wasted. But we give importance to it, therefore, but they are not important. That is why these are all interconnected. By the age of 58, 60, when we have fully fulfilled all your duties to the government, to the beings, to the family and children, thereafter nothing should be important from your side because you have done all that. After 60 years, the importance is unnecessarily given from your side. From their side, if they need any help, any guidance, उसको आप मिनिमम शब्दों में बताकर छोड़ना चाहिए, पीछे नहीं पड़ना है. Such person alone can become contemplative, meditative, studious or devotee or upasaka. है क्या ये लक्षण हमारे अंदर? Unless they ask us, we should not do dakhal andaz in anything. But we give, no, my children should be okay, my grandchildren. They themselves don't want to be okay. If they want, they don't need your help. If they don't want your help, they don't use it. सिंपल है. जैसे आपको श्लोक सब पढ़ना है तो मेरे कहने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. आपको पढ़ना नहीं है तो जितना भी मैं कहूंगा मेरी बेइज्जत होगी, क्योंकि आपको पढ़ना नहीं है. ये अकल देखो कितने साल के बाद मुझे आया. दिस इज वेरी गुड रेवलेशन टू मी. डिsillusionment हो गया मेरा. दिस इज हाउ द गुरुज लुक एट अस एंड दे लाफ नाउ. बेटा मैं तुम लोगों को अभी तक क्यों छोड़ा? इसलिए कि तुम चाहते हो तो खुद ही करोगे, नहीं चाहे तो मैं कितना भी जबरदस्त करूंगा तुम नहीं करोगे. इसलिए हम जो करना है बता के छोड़ते हैं. यथेच्छसि तथा. Are you understanding the example that is given in our day schedule? Not only about the people I am saying, even other indulgences activities. And all of them have to be done only through mind. And how much mind is taxed, exhausted, fatigued, tired because of all that. With that mind, how can you sit for puja and japa? How can you quieten his control? नहीं होगा वो. ये एक तो बुरे आदतें हो गए मन के, दूसरे थकावट हो रहा है, और इन दोनों को लेकर कहाँ स्पिरिचुअल बनेंगे हम? मन तो एक ही है, चाहे आध्यात्मिक में यूज करो या सत्यानाश करने में. दो मन तो नहीं है. माइंड इज वन ओनली. नो, डू हैव टू माइंड्स और व्हाट? दैट समटाइम यू से आई एम टू माइंड्स. आई तो एम नेवर माइंड ओनली. See that importance aspect. प्रतिलोम अनुलोम के ध्यान करने से सारे भावों का हमारे मन से उनके प्रति इंटरेस्ट, इंपॉर्टेंस, श्रद्धा निकल जाना चाहिए, तब जाकर मन कंट्रोल में आएगा. दिस इज व्हाई द अनुलोम प्रतिलोम अबाउट द क्रिएशन इज गिवन. द टू एस्पेक्ट्स ऑफ अनुलोम प्रतिलोम इज व्हाट, भगवान ने अपने मजाक के लिए दिया, ये एक एस्पेक्ट है. दूसरा क्या है, if you choose then it is created and you get bound in it. If you don't choose, it is lighter, it won't trouble you. This is how it is. Don't give importance to it. सृष्टि को. एंड देखो प्रतिलोम में क्या होता है ना, कि तुम जितने में उसको पकड़ के रखो, हाउ मच एवर यू इंसिस्ट होल्ड ऑन टू, एवरीथिंग व्हिच हैज कम इनटू प्रतिलोम क्रिएशन हैज टू गो बैक टू अनुलोम. So you will suffer there. So why should have this holding on to that? Is it not? Is not the wisdom getting dawn in us if you think like that? Like any friendship, that is pratiloma. Then it has its anuloma. When it is going to have anuloma, then why should you give value when it is pratiloma? Dekho? Then what happens? The mind loses importance in making friends. Then to that extent, mind is free. I'm just giving an example. If you are so in your own 100 friends, I'm not objecting you. It is your karma, your whatever I say, your stupidity, whatever. I'm not indulging in that. You have 2000 friends. It doesn't bother me. Example I am giving. This is how we have to become wise. To become wise this way, only Bhagavan gives all experiences, especially the people leaving you, whom you love, whom you help, whom you have trusted. They leave you immediately. Why? Cheating way or ditching you, only to teach this lesson. The pratiloma of it has happened, anuloma will also happen. Be ready. And what is the readiness of it? When anyway anuloma is happening, I will not value pratiloma. That's how the highest wisdom is what? Anybody wants to come or welcome, anybody wants to go or will go. When you come, I don't value you more. When you go, I don't devalue. When you are there, what is to be done, that is done. That's it. See how the mind is quiet and controlled with this attitude. Everywhere, बच्चे पूछे तो बताया, नहीं पूछे तो नहीं बताया, हो गई बात. और यू ऑलवेज हैव, इतने बड़े हो गए, तुमको जानना चाहिए, ऐसे आपको बोल सकते हैं उनको. नहीं तो यू शुड टेल देम, यू शुड आस्क मी इफ यू हैव दैट रेस्पेक्ट टू मी. You can escape after age of 60 from any accusation. Anybody accuses you, why didn't you do karke? You never asked me. I'm enjoying the thought nowadays. Don't talk to anyone from your side. If they want, you tell them. If they don't want, why should you are not asking me? मैं क्या करूं? I'm ready to help. That's how the Guru and Bhagwan are ready. They're ready to help in the best manner if you ask. If you don't ask, they just sit. Otherwise, they won't get. नहीं तो उनको डिस्टर्ब होना पड़ेगा, हम जैसे बेवकूफों के पीछे पड़कर, जो सुधरना नहीं चाहते, सुनना नहीं चाहते. देखो how much important it is. सांख्येन सर्वभावानां प्रतिलोमानुलोमतः भव अप्ययौ अनुध्यायेतु. प्रतिलोम अनुलोम के रूप में कैसे भव मीन्स क्रिएशन, अप्यय मीन्स डिसोल्यूशन आर हैपनिंग. So from the subtlest to the grossest, how the creation is happening. From the grossest to subtlest, how the dissolution is happening. Keep on thinking. Then by the what will happen? It's only drama going on. It's a play going on. It need not be given any importance, any value. That type of new wisdom gets done. That gives us that freedom, which we spoke for 5 minutes, 15 minutes back, that the mind should lose importance to everything. Such mind alone can be controlled and quieted and employed in spirituality to the extent it works or helps. Thereafter, make the mind as a springboard and just take off into this self-experience. ये ऐसा होना चाहिए. सांख्येन सर्वभावानां प्रतिलोम अनुलोमतः भवाप्यौ हि ध्यायेत भवाप्यौ अनुध्यायेत. Till when you have to do mano yavat prasidati. That's what I said. Now, till the mind becomes prasanna towards you. What is the meaning of mind becoming prasanna towards you? That mind says, okay, my dear, I'll listen to you. I understood whatever I am clinging on to with so much of importance, actually they don't deserve. सी कितना बढ़िया सा बात कहा है यहाँ. mana yavat prasiddhati. मतलब in these many ways we have to make the mana prasanna. prasanna मतलब उसको खुश करना. Bhagavan is using this sentence in a humorous manner, but the feeling of it is controlling of the mind. मन प्रसन्न होएगा तो आपके लिए, जैसे माता पिता का बहुत पूजा करोगे तो वो प्रसन्न होकर सारे जायदाद आपके नाम पे लिख देंगे. गुरु का उपासना करो तो he will be so much prasanna with you that he will give that shakti patham. With upasana again you make the Lord prasanna, you will fulfill your desires. So too when the mind is made prasanna, it listens to you and quietens and disappears and reveals the self to us. And all these are the techniques to bring the mind to the prasannata only. One of them is this one. Indriya control is for mana prasannata, favorability of the mind, that it is listening to us. And we are telling it, you disappear, let the self reveal to us. Mind says, okay. So Indriya Nigraha is for that. Pranayama is for that. Then there are Sattva Sampanna Buddhi is for that. Then Atandra is for that. And earlier श्लोक में जो कहा आरम्येश निर्विण्णः विरक्तः संयतेन्द्रियः अभ्यास, ये सारे मन को प्रसन्न करने के. मन प्रसन्न मतलब not fulfilling its desires. Mana is becoming favorable to me, sadhaka. So I became sadhaka knowing the truth. But I understood the mind is even my enemy. So through all these practices, I made mind prasanna towards me that it listens to me. Thereafter, mind has none of its own influences on me to get distracted into the creation of the multiplicity. Then the mind is absolutely quiet. When the mind is quiet, you are in self. That is just like बैठे बैठे उसको हम पा सकते. ऐसे बैठ गए, ऐसे आंख बंद कर ली, ऐसे मन को स्थगित कर दिया, आत्मा अनुभव हो गया. It is as simple and easy as that if you have fully controlled the mind. Because the self is so near to me, so close to me that it is me. To experience that, how can it be difficult? This will come again in tomorrow's Mandukya Upanishad. Bhashyakara will tell all these things. You know, as vividly the experience of self will come when the mind is enfolded. Just like when the eyes are good and you open it, it is so effortless and natural to see the world. Is there any effort to see the world when the eye is open? No effort. Is it not? Have you observed that one? आंख जब काम ठीक कर रहे हैं, खोला तो दुनिया दिखाई दी. Same way, you just say the mind, quieten it. If the mind has come to that control in our hands, mind kept aside, Atma is experienced. So effortless it is. But such an easy, effortless experience of self is made so tough and difficult by this unruly mind of ours, by our own mistakes. All of them we are rectifying. Rectifying mistakes is called Adhyatmik Sadhana. And Adhyatmik mistakes are all of them. And then Vyavaharik mistakes are Papa and Adharma, all that. The Adhyatmik mistakes are unruly mind, uncontrolled senses, irregularity of life, not having the ultimate goal. They are all Adhyatmik Papa mistakes. Vyavaharika, Adharma, Anyaya, Akrama. ये सब हो गया. सांख्येन सर्वभावानां प्रतिलोमानुलोमतः भवाप्ययौ अनुध्यायेत मनो यावत् प्रसीदति. That's why I'm saying you these 5-6 talks of this chapter, today 6th verse, every day you listen. Means listen at least once more, twice more and write some points. And हम तो खुद नहीं कह रहे हैं, ये तो भगवान श्री कृष्ण की वाणी है. He only is teaching us, all of us. And that's why I'm telling you this Mandukya Upanishads, all Prakaranas, and these few chapters of Bhagavata, if you really take it into heart, I know you all are expecting, स्वामी जी इसका मतलब आप बाकी सब क्लासेस छोड़ दो, इनका हम मनन करेंगे बाकी टाइम में. I told you I'm not compelling anyone. Just like you are losing interest in me, I also lost interest in every one of you. जब आपको नहीं है तो मेरे को क्या होगा? मैं बोलता जाऊँगा मेरे साधना के. Nobody is compelled. I told you yesterday, I am not even asking you to inform me also. Whether are coming, not coming, ये हमारे को क्या है? If you feel it is your duty, your responsibility, it helps you, you do it. After all, it's after so many years, now I understood. Neither I have right towards you nor any duty. I have only my duty towards my God, Guru, Shastras. Whoever come in that, they will get benefit. If they don't come, I can't do anything. So full freedom you have. Don't worry. नहीं आओगे क्लास मत आना बोलने की जरूरत आई डोंट माइंड आई डोंट फील बैड यू हैव हर्ड विद 2 years वेरी गुड सफिशिएंट जस्ट बाय द वे क्लियरिंग सम थिंग्स नहीं तो मेरे आत्म शांति के लिए मत आना एक आध लोग आते हैं इसलिए सम पीपल सोच लिए कि स्वामी जी की आत्मा की शांति हो गई देन दे स्टॉप्ड ओनली कमिंग और दे मेट हैव रियलाइज्ड सेल्फ एंड दे हैव स्टार्टेड देयर ओन दुकान ये भी हो सकता है Now, nirvinnasya viraktasya purushasya uktavedinah manah tyajati dauratmyam chintitasya anuchintaya means in every shloka Bhagavan is again and again giving newer and newer understandings, developed understanding, deeper understandings and techniques finally to bring this mind into control, which is the Parama Yoga. ऐसा करो बेटा नहीं हो रहा है वैसा करो बेटा नहीं हो रहा है ऐसा करो बेटा ऐसा करो करके ही इज गिविंग टिप्स वन आफ्टर अदर इन एवरी श्लोक some are in detail some in repeated some are deeply said some new things are added finally I have to bring my mind into control and quieten it and see that which is beyond the mind. Three sadhanas, remember: purification of the mind, quietening of the mind, transcending the mind. Or rising above the mind. So this will become a sequence for you to remember. PQR. ABCD तो आप जानते हो ना MNO PQR. P for purification, Q for quietening, R for rising above the mind. These are the PQR sadhana. आपके लिए आज से हम सब के लिए. What are you doing in spirituality? PQR. You can say PUT also. Put purifying, unifying, and transcending. But PQR is more beautiful. Purifying, quietening, transcending. PQR of the mind. PQR mind. PQR. लिख लो. PQR. Purify, quieten, rise above. In this shloka, again, Nirvinna, Virakta, Uktavedi, when these three sadhana and Chintitasya Anuchinta, when four are done, Manah Tauratmyam Tyajati. This is a huge sadhana. A beautiful explanation again it is. If I start it, it will take a lot of time. So we'll put it for tomorrow. Literal meaning is this. Here Nirvinnasya, the one who has got Nirveda regarding new interactions, new undertakings. Viraktaha, the things which are already there or the things coming unasked. Toward the one who has got Virakti. Naya undertakings में interest नहीं होना is Nirveda. जो ऑलरेडी किए हैं ऑलरेडी हमारे साथ में है उन चीजों में पूरा इंटरेस्ट छोड़ देना विरक्ति. दो थर्ड वन इज उक्तवेदिनः. उक्तवेदिन मीन्स वट एवर गुरु सेड अबाउट अल्टीमेट गोल ऑफ नोइंग द ट्रुथ द वन इज ऑलवेज रिमेंबरिंग दैट्स कॉल्ड उक्तवेदी. 3 and fourth one चिंतितस्य अनुचिंतया the one who is doing always contemplation only on the self. Chintitasya is that which is to be contemplated. Anuchinta means only always thinking about it, analyzing it, listening about it, contemplating on that. Uktavedina Purusha means the one which is understood the prakriyas which were said in the earlier shlokas to control mind. So निर्वेदवान पुरुष, विरक्त पुरुष, मन को कंट्रोल करने वाले सारे तरीके जानकर करने वाले पुरुष. So to the one चिंतितस्य अनुचिंतन, the one who is always doing the inquiry about the self or increasing his desire to know the self, such person का क्या रिजल्ट होगा? मनः त्यजति दौरात्म्यम. Mind of that sadhaka's mind gives up its duratmata, its impurities, its insistences, its desiringness, its own illogical imaginations, its own capacity to bind us to the world which is non-existing. मन अपने दौरात्म्यता को छोड़ देगी. What is दौरात्म्य of the mana? It is binding us to the world by imagining the world which is not there, which is unreal. Okay, it is there but not real, it's only mithya. सत्य तो नहीं है, ये व्यावहारिक है, बस पारमार्थिक नहीं है. Mana gives up its dauratmya. What is dauratmya? Chanchalata. Then where it goes to? Nischalata. Then what is the meaning of mana tej dauratmyam? Again, like the mother is cooking food. This fellow comes again and again, mummy, ye do, mummy, wo do. That is dauratmya of that fellow. उसको खाना खिला के खिलाना दे के छोड़ दो, he will be busy in that, he won't disturb you. In the same way, with these four sadhanas, nirvinna, virakta, uktavedin, and chintidasya chintakaha, anuchintakaha, with these four sadhanas, mana tyajet. But the mind living its dauratma is its own vasanas, its own extrovertedness, its own habits of imagination, projection. Finally, it itself becoming abstraction to Paramatma. All the dauratmyas, mind drops. When the final duratmata of the mana is, it itself is there as an obstruction. It just moves away, self is experienced. See the power of mind called as Maya, कि मैं और मेरे बीच में ही वो खड़ा है. The real me and pseudo me के बीच में mind खड़ा है, which is otherwise impossible, na? See, there's a person standing between you and me. It is understandable. And he is very hefty, heavy, therefore you can't see me, I can't see you. Or a wall is standing between you and me. Or a car is standing, or a pillar, a post, or tree. But the mind is standing between the real me and pseudo me, and supporting the pseudo unreal me, and not allowing the real me to express. No, this is the trick. This is a Maya. This is called Agatita Gatana Patiyasi. Then the mind removed, I and my real self are one. I am that. Now, this understanding that my own mind is culprit in binding me, it takes how many years and decades and lives of listening to Shastra regularly. You people are listening regularly, therefore I am having courage to explain. You have ability to understand. And those who are irregular never come. वो कुछ पूजा उपासना पाठ करेंगे, उससे भी उनको जो लाभ मिलना है मिलेगा, but their guide is very slow. And you and I, if you leave this process, फिर हम भी उन्हीं के तरह पीछे बिगड़ जाएंगे. हमको तो ये प्रण हो गया. If at all we drop the classes, it is only to enter into deep meditation. Otherwise, we will never leave our Swadhyaya Satsanga. We have decided whether this life or next life or any life. चाहे 1000 लाइफ में हो जाए, स्वाध्याय सत्संग कहना या सुनना के अलावा और हम किसी में फंसेंगे ही नहीं. तब जाकर एक क्लैरिटी होएगा क्या करना है, कैसे करना. बट बाकी सब लोग चलो दे गो वंस इन अ वाइल टू सत्संग, दे रीड वन बुक, and these are all I am talking about some people who are we only come 2-3 years back. मन लगा तो सुन ली क्लास, कोई गुरु महाराज आ गए तो उनके सप्ताह अटेंड कर ली, या उनको कोई प्रवचन अटेंड कर ली, उन जाकर उनको मत्था टेका, उन्होंने प्रसाद दे, उनको प्रसाद दिया जैसे हम भगवान है. ना भी भाई तो देना चाहिए, और उसी में खुश. Now we understand what we were doing were silly like a children only. So हम श्रृंगार अलंकार करके मंदिर जाना, वहाँ जाना. No, I'm not telling they are bad. That's how it begins. But that should not be the end. That cannot be considered as end, and don't get satisfied with that. Much more are there, much more are there to be known and done, and all of them are while listening to satsang and shastra, it will be revealed to us. And in this way, under a guru, when you regularly listen shastra and get clarity, this is pakka and this is permanent. It will not go. Without listening shastra from an authentic guru, the clarity and the conviction and inspiration will not be that much. That all depends on your emotions. कभी अच्छा लगा तो कर लिया, नहीं तो नहीं कर ली. अब आपका वो हालत नहीं, you have transcended that stage, I expect. That's why never give up stop listening to our shastra satsang. कभी कुछ भी हो जाए. That is the devil, your mind's advice. If you don't like me or my class, never mind, get lost. Go somewhere. Listen somewhere. जहाँ जाना है जाओ. But कहीं ना कहीं सुनो. And don't keep on jumping. That is also another way of mind cheating you. How long we listen to same Swami, and the Swami became a आदत हो गया. अब इनको value नहीं है, छोड़ दो. Some of the people do it, whom I am trusting so much that you listen. How did you started doing lightly? They removed me like this, like kadi patta from sambar. अब मेरे को उससे कोई नुकसान नहीं. सत्संग, no guru is losing anything, any acharya, मेरे को क्या है? It's you. Wherever you go, but don't leave satsang. Don't leave shastra. Don't leave sadhana for the ultimate. Come what may. And strengthen these things more and more with every saas, with every moment. That's the price we have to pay. And what is the sacrifice required that there? It is worthy. ठीक है. और कुछ लोग हैं बहुत मजेदार है, कल देखें. ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरि ओम. श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. श्री कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय. भागवत महापुराण की जय. सदगुरुनाथ महाराज की जय. चलो हिंदी में वाल्मीकि रामायण. आजकल भागवत